With a mighty voice he shouted, "Fallen! Fallen is Babylon the Great! She has become a dwelling for demons and a haunt for every impure spirit, a haunt for every unclean bird, a haunt for every unclean and detestable animal."
As taken from the Bible, Revelation 18 verse 2 serves as a warning that our nation may not end up like Babylon. Babylon symbolizes a wicked, evil, and corrupted nation, rebellious against God. It signifies a life of suffering that impacts every part of society. We are in a sense, living in a modern Babylon. Either we adopt, or we resist, and take a stand for where our allegiance lies, our country, and God. Our votes in the upcoming election will have a profound and lasting impact on national government policies, funding priorities, and the future of our communities, and the country as a whole. Compared to our neighbors, Japan, Singapore, South Korea, and Taiwan, whose economies are strong due to their highly skilled workforces, robust infrastructure, and strategic government planning, the Philippines lags behind in economic growth, infrastructure, and certain social indicators. The coming election is expected to bring about change. Will that change be positive or negative? Let's look at Taitung, Taiwan. Before, Taitung was really poor. Subsidies given by the central government were never enough. Difficult for people to look for long-term jobs, leading them to have anxiety and depression. Had the highest proportion of low-income population, disabled population, and students in grandparent-headed households. Had the lowest household income and average life expectancy. Also had the lowest proportion of population with university degrees and self-generated revenues. No movie theaters, department stores, and electrified railway. Meanwhile, in the Philippines, we currently face several significant challenges, including a high inflation rate, slow economic growth, substantial job losses, inequalities in health and education. Furthermore, persistent issues such as corruption and political dynasties contribute to poor governance. Going back to Taitung. From one of the poorest and most unhappy city in 2005 to second highest ranking as blessed happy city in 2018. How did this happen? Taitung gradually transformed. When Justin Huang was elected Taitung County Governor, from 2009 to 2018. A Buddhist who became a transformed Christian because of his wife, who arranged 1-hour Bible study every weekend at the government office. With his newfound faith, it led him to reform long-standing issues that other politicians won't dare and have courage to do. Justin Huang did not hesitate to do the right things firmly. He wanted to do what is right in the eyes of the Lord, because he believes that for Christians, the reward is not on earth, eternal crown is in heaven. Major reform during his term involved changes to education funding. He eliminated free school meals, restricting the privilege to poor students. Prior to his administration, all elementary and secondary students received free meals. However, to address other pressing educational issues, such as untidy playgrounds, broken toilet doors, and malfunctioning fountains, two options were considered: borrowing money from a bank with accruing interest, or implementing a stricter budget. The reforms sparked strong opposition. Members of the parliament shouted at him, people were mad and dared to vote against him. Although the government continued to subsidize 40% of lunch costs, the reform resulted in a 60% reduction in expenditures, saving 100 million NT dollars annually. Despite persecutions and oppositions, he got re-elected and was the first to be solemnly sworn with the Bible and prayer during inauguration in Taiwan. He also implemented payment system to organize parking, demolished illegal buildings, canceled unjust subsidies, and tightened their expenses, resulting in a balanced surplus, which never happened before. They used to borrow money from the bank to cover the deficit. They even started to pay off some debts. He also did plenty of remarkably exceptional innovations. They utilized creativity to invite tourists through hot air balloon, world's deepest undersea post box. Digital technology transformed the abandoned Guagang passenger terminal into a cinema mall, opened Taitung Sheraton International Brand Hotel, provides social housing, and restored Baxian Cave. God led and enabled Justin Huang to change Taitung step by step through reforms and innovations that resulted in godly governance. In 2018, Taitung ranked first in county and city governance in Taiwan. Awarded the 5-star county magistrate by Vision magazine for 5 consecutive years since 2014 for his high satisfaction rate in a county mayoral performance survey. At the end of his term, he received a letter of gratitude from a citizen for his good leadership. A Buddhist's recognition of his governance glorifying God was remarkable. Good and godly politics is impossible. But with God, transformation is possible. Just as Taitung can transform, so can the Philippines. The key is electing leaders who are capable, trustworthy, and with good moral character. Effective leaders like Justin Huang, who can improve both the economy and the overall quality life of the citizens. As Filipinos, do we aspire Philippines to resemble the poor Taitung, or the transformed Taitung, which is shaped by good and godly governance? We Filipinos have the power to change this. Let us not be like Babylon, a worldly system of politics and economics that defies God. May we not embrace the kind of government and leaders who celebrate sin. Instead, let us pray and vote with wisdom for righteous leaders, and take action as the Lord lead us.
For her sins are piled up to heaven, and God has remembered her crimes. Give back to her as she has given, pay her back double for what she has done. Pour her a double portion from her own cup. Revelation 18 verses 5-6.
This serves as the final judgment against Babylon. Do we desire the Philippines to mirror fallen Babylon, a place where sins mount and God recalls all wickedness? As a judgment, we will experience double the pain and suffering. Let this be a warning. Let us not compromise and instead exercise wisdom as we elect the next leaders of our nation, so that we may avoid a fate similar to that of fallen Babylon. Pray and vote wisely.